In this video, we want to look at one more long essay type, that is 10 mark question, vitamin A. In this, we will discuss biochemical function, deficiency, RDA, sources, symptoms and treatment of vitamin A. The term vitamins of vitamin A are retinoids, the component which have characteristic of vitamin A. Vitamin A occurs in two forms in food. First one is retinoids, second one is carotene. Retinoids include retinol, retinol and retinoic acid. First one is retinol, vitamin A aldehyde form. It obtained by oxidation of retinol. Second one is retinol, vitamin A alcohol form presented in animal tissue. Third one is retinoic acid produced by oxidation of retinol. Second one is carotene. It have alpha, beta and gamma carotenes. Now moving to how that vitamin A digest, absorbed and transport. From plant source beta carotene, we get beta carotene by the action of dioxygenase. It converted into retinol. Again retinol reductase enzyme, it converted into retinol. From non-veg source retinol ester, intestinal brush border enzyme hydrolysis. It hydrolyzes into retinol and free fatty acid. Now this both retinol again esterified in the intestinal mucosal cell and converted into retinol ester. This retinol ester is stored in liver. Whenever we need, that time it will released. So it is stored in liver. It is incorporated into chylomicron through the lymph. It carried to the liver. It is released as when required. It is released as when required. In liver, that retinol ester or retinol palmitate are stored and it released when required. In blood, it is transported along with retinol binding protein. In target tissue, this retinol is converted into retinoic acid. This retinoic acid acts as a intranuclear receptor. This intranuclear receptor is responsible for protein synthesis to the transcription. Protein synthesis, that is why important in all cell growth and differentiation. This is the mechanism of action of retinoic acid and retinol. The retinol important in Walds visual cycle also. Now moving to biochemical function of vitamin A. First important function is vision. The active component is 11,6 retinol. It is presented in rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is a conjugated protein. It is made up of 11,6 retinol and opsin. Important first function is vision. Second one is growth. Vitamin A deficiency causes loss of appetite. So it leads to slow bone growth and affect central nervous system. Vitamin A deficiency causes slow bone growth and it affected central nervous system. Then reproduction. Retinol and retinol are essential for normal reproduction. Then it maintenance of epithelial cells, and involved in protein synthesis and cell growth, and it prevent keratinization of skin and mucous membrane. Then it important in synthesis of glycoprotein cholesterol synthesis. One more function, it acts as a antioxidant. It prevent coronary artery disease, atherosclerosis and cataract. So what are the biochemical function important in vision? The active component 11,6 retinal. It is presented in the rhodopsin. Then growth, vitamin A deficiency causes slow bone growth and affects central nervous system. It is important in reproduction also. It maintenance of epithelial cell and involved in protein synthesis, prevent keratinization of skin and mucous membrane. Then important in synthesis of glycoprotein cholesterol synthesis and act as a antioxidant. So it prevent coronary artery disease, atherosclerosis and cataract. So vitamin A important in vision. So here we will discuss that Walds visual cycle. Human eye containing two types of photoreceptor, rod and cone. This one is the rod cell. It have disc. It contain disc which have pigment rhodopsin. The basic steps in Walds visual cycle, that when rhodopsin is exposed to light, which causes breakdown of luminorhodopsin, spontaneously converted into metarhodopsin 1, which further converted into metarhodopsin 2. This one is the rhodopsin. This one is that rod have pigment rhodopsin. This one exposure to light, it break down into luminorhodopsin. Spontaneously it converted into metarhodopsin 1, which further converted into metarhodopsin 2. It gives two component, opsin and all transretinal. Now all transretinal has to converted back to 11,6 retinal. It combined with this one is combined with opsin and leads to reformation of rhodopsin. So this all transretinal is again converted into 11,6 retinal. This one combined with opsin leads to the reformation of rhodopsin. This conversion occurs through two main pathways. First, which operate the eyes. This one operate the eyes. Second one in liver. All transretinal is converted to 11,6 retinal by the enzyme of retinal isomerase. This 11,6 retinal combine with opsin to form rhodopsin. Second pathway which operate in the liver. Here the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase. First, all transretinal is converted into all transretinal, and this converted 11,6 retinal by the enzyme isomerase. All transretinal is converted into all transretinal with the help of enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase. Then again with the help of isomerase it converted into 11,6 retinal. Again with the help of alcohol dehydrogenase it converted into 11,6 retinal. This is the nose format. Causes breakdown into luminorhodopsin. Luminorhodopsin is converted into metarhodopsin 1, further converted into metarhodopsin 2. It give two component, opsin and all-trans retinal. It converted back into 11-cis retinal. Combined with opsin lead to lead formation of rhodopsin, which operated the eyes. Second pathway operated by the liver. All trans retinal is converted into all trans retinol with the help of isomerase converted into 11-cis retinal. Then alcohol dehydrogenase it converted into 11-cis retinol. Now the next important thing is known how nerve impulse is generated through this cycle. Nerve impulse. Now we will discuss how nerve impulse is generated through this cycle. The changes in opsin due to the photobleaching. The rhodopsin is converted into brilumirhodopsin. Again it will converted into lumirhodopsin. The lumirhodopsin is converted into metarhodopsin 1. Metarhodopsin 1 is converted into metarhodopsin 2. Then this one involved in this Walds vision cycle. This metarhodopsin 2 activate transducin. This transducin is activate phosphodiesterase, which decrease in the cyclic AMP level. So it leads to the closure of sodium channel in the rod. It leads to the hyperpolarization and excitatory response visual cortex rod. So rod are responsible for cheme-like region. This is how important maintenance of vision in rod. Rhodopsin is converted into lumirhodopsin, then it converted into lumirhodopsin. Lumirhodopsin is converted into metarhodopsin 1. Metarhodopsin is converted into metarhodopsin 2. It activate transducin. This transducin activate phosphodiesterase, this which decreases the cyclic GMP level. This one leads to closure of sodium channel in the rod. So it leads to hyperpolarization and excitatory response for visual cortex of rod. This is how important in maintenance of vision in rod. This one continuation cycle of Walds vision notes. This one that now impulse is generated through this cycle. Rhodopsin that activate converted into metarhodopsin, then visual cortex of rod. Rods are responsible for cheme-like region. Rhodopsins also presented in cone. The cones are responsible for bright light region and also color vision. Cone, 3 pigment which are presented in cone. What are the pigment? 4-phyrapsin red, idapsin green, synapsin blue. These 3 pigment are responsible for color vision. Next one is sources of vitamin A. Vitamin A rich in shark liver oil or cod liver oil, also presented in meat, milk, egg, carrot and orange colored fruits like papaya, mango, pumpkin, then drumstick leaves, coriander leaves, etc. Then RDA recommended daily allowance for male 1000 RE, that means retinal equivalent. One retinal equivalent is equal to 1 mg of retinal. Then female 800 retinal equivalent. Then deficiency of vitamin A. We already know vision impairment. Symptoms: night blindness, XN night blindness, X1A conjunctival xerosis, X1B Peters spot, X2 corneal xerosis, X3A corneal ulcer, X3B 1/3 cornea involved in ulceration. Then XS corneal scarring. Then XF xerothalmic punctus. These are the symptoms involved in vitamin A deficiency. Then treatment: 2 lakh international unit of vitamin A given along with increased dietary intake. So these are the notes format: sources, RDA, deficiency and symptoms. First page, vitamin A notes format. Second page, third page, Wald visual cycle and nerve impulse together. Fourth page, fifth page, last one, sixth. Thanks for watching.